We worked really hard at this, guys. We know our stuff. We're ready. Remember what I told you a while ago? Commit. That's the only important thing is commit. Stick to what you're doing. Eye contact with your actors. Make sure that you're looking at them the best you can. I know that we're not off book. And let's have a good time. Ready?
Ready.
And Laz, take it away.
Fade into. Exterior. Series of shots. Desert. Bare feet dragging on sand. Like a speck, a solitary figure traverses an immense and barren landscape. On screen, NVO, Hebrew with subtitles.
I am a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God and permitted to see a vision of the Holy One in heaven.
Nomadic village. A man steps out from inside a primitive hut. He screams inconsolable grief. A woman follows on her knees, beats the ground beneath her. On screen.
The angel showed me. I heard their stories. I witnessed their deeds and understood. It was not for this generation to know, but for a deserving one yet to come.
Nomadic village. The woman weeps as she places a folded blanket over an empty infant's bed. On screen.
And the eye sky shall be shaken, and the eye mountain shall be laid low, and the ground shall melt like wax in the flame. The true colors will be revealed.
Desert. The traveler removes a shawl. It is the face of the grief-stricken man from the village. Dark blood stains on his robe. Ahead of him, he sees huts in the distance. Smoke emanates from a fire pit. Villagers, busy with chores. A group of children stop their play as they see him. He looks up. A harsh sun beats down on him. He touches a pouch strewn over his neck, opens it. A stone inside. He clenches his hand around the stone, walks to the village. On screen.
And the earth shall be completely torn apart, and all that is on the earth shall be destroyed, and there shall be a judgment on all.
First Book of Enoch. Interior, estate, day. A boy's room. Soccer-themed decorations splashed everywhere. An enormous hand-carved antique wooden armoire sits on the opposite wall where Truman Briggs, a 7-year-old boy, does battle with a set of toy soldiers. He is dressed in partly soiled soccer attire, his cleats kicked off to the side. The double doors of the armoire tremble as if to open. Truman hears a rustle coming from outside his bedroom window. He stands, spots a magpie on the window's ledge. The bird taps the glass with its beak. The boy takes small steps towards the window.
Hello.
Truman sees ruffled feathers. Blood drips on its small claws.
Oh, you hurt! Mommy!
The sudden appearance of a cat startles Truman. The cat in a preparatory stance, ready to finish what it started. The double doors of the armoire swing open. Truman places his hands on the glass.
No!
The cat shrieks, dashes off. The bird takes flight. Truman watches it. He turns to face the armoire, catches his breath. Mary Briggs, to mid-20s, enters the room, eyes deep with understanding, far beyond her young age.
Sweetheart, what is it?
Buddy, he was out the window.
Slow down, baby, slow down. Where?
He flew away. She was after him.
Truman leans on the edge of the window. Mary follows.
That cat is such a menace. Are you all right, dear?
Yes, Mommy, I'm fine. But the bird, he was hurt. I just hope he's okay. My friend helped me save him.
He's probably flying home to his mommy as we speak. Let's get you out of these clothes and into a proper bath.
Right now?
Yes, right now. I'm sure there's a boy underneath all that dirt.
Mary pulls Truman's shirt over his head.
So, what's your friend's name? The one that helped you save the bird?
I'm not supposed to tell you.
Really?
I'm sorry, Mommy.
I see. You know what that means, right?
Oh no, I'm too old to be tickled.
Nonsense!
Back to the armoire. Mary can't see the doors swing closed. She chases Truman around the room. They both laugh. Interior hallway. Mary closes the door to Truman's room. She starts off as Austin, 20-something. Rock star looks, jumps from a side hallway, surprises Mary.
Kiss me?
Blimey, Austin, it's not funny.
So what's eating the governor? Other than you spoiling and rotting.
It appears Truman has a new friend.
A new one? Behind me, Tyke takes after your side of the family. A make-believe friend is better than no friend. Where are you going? I'm happy for the lad.
Mary scurries away. Austin lights a cigarette, approaches Truman's bedroom door, puts his ear on it. From inside the room,
Austin, it's not polite to eavesdrop.
Austin tries the handle, finds it locked.
Open up. You're talking to another invisible tyke. You know they're locking others away for that thing. I'm pissed off.
Austin yanks on the door handle one more time, drops a cigarette, reaches down to pick it up, sees a glow through the bottom slit of Truman's door. A vision of two people burning alive inside the wreckage of an automobile overtakes Austin. The bodies thrash and scream until no more.
I have to go now, Austin. Mommy wants me to take a proper bath.
Room. Facing the window, Truman watches clouds above the Stratford estate flash silently in a myriad of colors. A celestial event. Interior, kitchen. Austin rummages through food in the refrigerator. Alicia walks in. In her 40s, Alicia personified, commands attention. She slams a newspaper on the table.
Should I be catching up on the world's events? Not feeling very chatty. Are we, love?
Alicia points at the paper.
Go to the classified section. I've marked some great jobs for you. And make sure you clean up after yourself. Love.
Austin looks at the newspaper markings, belches before Alicia leaves the kitchen. Exterior, interior, restaurant, night. An outdoor neon sign flickers Briggs Pub. Joseph Briggs, a late 20s, sits behind a desk. He looks at a photograph of himself, Mary and Joseph. They are younger in the photo. Teenagers at a picnic, all smiles. Austin stares at Mary with a silly grin. A young man peeks in the office.
My boss, all prep's done.
Good lad, thank you. I'll lock up.
Interior, estate, night. Truman, awake on his bed. A shouting match between Mary and Austin outside his room. The boy calmly listens. Interior, kitchen, day. Mary enters hurriedly. In the background, we hear Austin sing.
She yearned to be proper, but gave up her niggas for the pervert Mr. Papa.
And the show continues. I guess waking up everyone at 2 a.m. wasn't enough?
I'm sorry, Mom.
Did someone forget to wake Truman up for school this morning?
I wasn't feeling very well. Thank you for taking him.
Honey, listen to him. He's lost the plot.
Do you know who else has lost the plot? The person humiliating my husband by circling dishwasher jobs on his morning paper.
They require no experience. He's never touched a dirty dish in his life. He couldn't be more qualified. He's lucky I didn't have him thrown in the nick last night.
For what, Mom? A couple having an argument? We always sort it out.
For God's sake, I'm trying to help.
Mary grabs a tray and places 2 cups on it. Alicia sees bruises and scratches on her arms.
What are those? Did he hurt you?
Of course not. He would never.
Flashback. Mary sleeps. A shadowy figure moves over her. She cannot move her limbs. Frozen under an invisible grip. Her back arches. Back to scene.
Don't lie to me.
I was in the garden. It must have been thorns.
Outside kitchen. Austin listens.
This has to stop. I want you to go see Joseph.
What for?
He may be the only person who can get through to your clown. You obviously can't. Get him help. Or God help me, I'll chase him out of our lives. Legally, if I have to.
Outside kitchen. Austin walks away. Interior, Briggs Pub, night. Alicia and Joseph sit by the bar counter. Joseph's beer half down. Alicia sipping her tea.
I still remember what she was wearing the day I met her.
In grade school.
Yeah, that smile.
Braces and all.
It was love at first blinding shine.
Dear boy, I know you love my daughter.
I don't think you understand the depth of my heartbreak when she married Austin.
You would be surprised. I'm confident you would do anything in your power to help her.
Out with it, Alicia.
He handled her last night.
What? What happened?
I saw bruises on her arms. Now, no need to rush. Calm head prevails.
My dear cousin just crossed the line.
She needs you to intervene. I fear for her safety.
Exterior, garden, night. Truman sits on the front steps of his home estate. Something catches his attention. Truman approaches. Spasmodic movement covered by leaves. The boy kneels to remove obstructions. It shows the head of Mr. Jones. The animal opens and closes its mouth, gasps for air. It looks at Truman and stops breathing. Interior, dining room. Truman enters, joins Mary and Joseph at the dinner table.
I refuse to see him.
Oh, hello, honey. Where were you?
In the rose garden.
You must be hungry.
Of course he's hungry. That's usually the reason people come in to eat dinner. Just serve the lad.
Austin pours himself a shot of scotch.
Now that hits the spot. As I was saying, I will not be seeing my dear cousin anytime soon.
We can do this later.
No, let's discuss this now. We both know that's not all he wants. I forbid you from seeing him.
Austin, please, let's just eat.
Truman hasn't touched the food on his plate.
Eat your food, sweetheart.
Yeah, eat your food, sweetheart. Joseph needs to mind his own fucking business and move on.
Please mind your language. Truman is right here. This is not your house.
Oh, that's just bloody brilliant. Truman, Joseph, cousin Joseph, who wants to be more than just cousin Joseph, is a fucking major twat. I'll get a job on me own, and I don't need any help from him or your hag mother.
Austin taps his index finger on Mary's side temple.
Get it through your thick skull. I don't want that fuck near you.
This conversation is over.
What do you mean over? Where do you think you're going?
Truman's had enough of this. It's not about a job. It's not about Joseph. It's about you.
Austin smashes the dinner plates with his bare hands. Mary clutches Truman. She scurries past Austin. Truman breaks loose from Mary, faces Austin.
Mr. Jones is dead, Austin, just like your parents and soon you!
Austin stands and raises his hands to strike Truman.
Don't you dare!
Mary yanks Truman out from the dining room. Austin covers his face with both hands. Blood drips from the cuts. He bursts into sobs. Interior, Truman's room. Mary sits on Truman's bed. Truman in pajamas sits next to her.
Honey, is it true? Mr. Jones, he's dead.
Uh-huh.
How do you know? Did you see him?
Yes, in the rose garden.
Do you know who hurt him? Was it...
Wasn't Austin.
It's Dad, Truman. Dad, not Austin.
It wasn't Dad who hurt Mr. Jones.
Mary puts her arms around Truman.
I love you, Mommy.
Oh, honey, you are my universe. It's going to be okay. How about we go to the park tomorrow, yes? Yes.
Mary turns off the light, leaves the room.
It was me, Mommy. I killed Mr. Jones. I had to save the bird.
Interior, bathroom. Austin pours water through cuts on his hands. He faces the mirror.
You really fucked it up this time.
Exterior, playground, day. Mary sits on a bench, watches Truman play with other children. The screams of joy sound like terror. Truman stops to look at her. She waves. He points at a game of soccer behind him, pleads with his eyes.
Stay where I can see you.
Truman takes off to the game.
Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you, Mommy.
Mary retrieves a journal from her bag, leafs through the pages for the next blank entry. She writes,
The dreams have returned. Why do I feel I know him?
On his way, a soccer ball rolls up to Truman. He picks it up.
The longing in me is unbearable whenever I see him. Who is this man that hides in the shadows of my soul?
A girl in her teens approaches Truman, yanks the ball away from his hands.
Give it here, wanker. Think a girl can't kick your little arse? No need to throw a wobbly.
She sneaks the ball around Truman, his eyes fixed on her. The girl nears a merry-go-round, spins full of children. She stops, helps it spin faster.
That should bring out your breakfast, little buggers.
A scowl on his face, fists clench. Truman bears on the girl. A magpie lands in front of him.
How is it possible that I love him? It's the pain of an unthinkable memory I can't escape, of darkness to be embraced.
Truman's eyes go white and he passes out. Interior, tube station. Austin walks through the morning tube rush. He sidesteps a homeless woman on the floor, looks at his wristwatch.
Oh, bloody hell, I'm late.
An advertisement poster stops him. On the poster, a naked Mary presses against a naked Joseph. The homeless woman turns his shoulder.
I wager she's enjoying him plenty. Would you agree?
What the fuck, you piss stink wench?
And the boy, we'll call him Da when you're dead and cold, and she's finally being properly fucked. Why, I believe they are together now.
Her face contorts. Austin darts away from her. Exterior, street. Austin on a phone.
Miss, something came up. I missed the tube. I can be there later. I really need this job. Just let me go in for the interview. I promise you won't regret it. I can't wait a month. The bitch wants to throw me out now. Hello? Miss? Hello? Fuck!
Austin walks through the streets at a hectic pace. He dials his phone.
Hi, baby. Look, I'll go see Joseph if that's what you want. I'll do whatever makes you happy. I'll see you at the house. I love you, my muse.
Austin sees the charred bodies of a naked middle-aged couple having tea at an outdoor cafe. As he walks, faces of Mary and Joseph blur past him. Interior, Briggs Pub. Mary and Joseph across from each other.
Just so I understand correctly, you want me to thrust the dagger deep into my own heart? Why would I ever help him?
He's not well.
You continue to protect him.
He's my husband, for God's sake. I've never stopped caring for you, Joseph. You are my dearest friend.
Friend? The word stings, Mary. I can be more. I love Truman like my own. You can't deny that I'd be a better father than him.
Please stop. Fatherhood has been difficult for him.
Fatherhood should have brought his best. I understand he handled you.
Oh, Lord, it's not true. He would never hurt me. Please, help him. Help me. I'm out of options. My mother wants him out.
Out of my better judgment, I've already offered him work, even nights for his sing-song fairy tales. He turned it all down. I'm sorry. It's time that you open your eyes.
Joseph reaches out for her hand. Mary withdraws from his touch.
Help me find the caring soul we both love.
That person may no longer exist. The past has finally caught up to the poor bastard. It's hard to outrun the demons in his head.
Please, I'm desperate.
Joseph stands and sits next to Mary. She rests her head on his shoulder. He strokes her hair.
I should have my head examined.
Exterior, pub. Austin stares through the storefront window at Joseph and Mary.
Jezebel.
He's off running like a madman. Interior, Truman's room. Truman stands inside the armoire. He flips through the pages of an illustrated Bible. On screen, a serpent hangs from a branch next to a woman covered by foliage. A city burns in the distance. Small hands reach out from the flames. Two angels engaged in hand-to-hand combat. Back to room. Austin enters.
Truman. Where are you, boy?
Truman pushes open the armoire doors.
In here,
Jesus, what are you doing in there, mate?
looking at pictures.
Truman hands the Bible to Austin. He looks at it for a moment, then tosses it to the floor.
Well, give it a rest. We're going on a road trip. Come on. It's all right. It's a surprise. It's my chance to make it up to your mother. Grab your jacket. Go on. I haven't got all day.
Interior, kitchen. Mary walks in.
Well,
You went to see Joseph?
what of it? Make yourself useful. Set these on the table for me.
Despite your gloom and doom, I'm hopeful about our future.
Well, I hope your future can lay off the juice tonight.
I don't want to fight, Mom.
Just go get Truman before his lunch gets cold.
Exterior, interior, moving cab. Truman and Austin in the back seat.
It's fine, mate.
The cab stops by a sheep pasture. Interior, Truman's room. Mary looks inside. She walks towards the armoire.
Sweetheart, are you hiding there?
Interior, kitchen. Mary hurries in.
He's not in his room.
They both leave the kitchen, becoming frantic as they call Truman's name throughout the house. Exterior, field. Austin and Truman walk through the animals. Austin pulls a small bottle from his jacket and takes a swig.
It smells.
Austin takes a deep breath.
Don't you love it? Sheep should aroma.
Who takes care of them?
These miserable sheep have no shepherd.
Where are we going?
You'll see when we get there. It's a surprise for Mommy. It's her atonement.
Exterior field night. Truman and Austin sit on a row of rocks, the ruins of a structure. A gray and half-broken statue of an angel overlooks from the edge of the roof. Austin licks the last drop from his bottle. He leans over and breaks the empty bottle against the rocks beneath him. He cradles Truman, conceals the broken glass. Truman rests his head on Austin's side. Austin moves away from the boy.
I don't think Mommy is coming. I want to go home.
This will be over soon. Be patient. See over there? That's where me mom and me dad were squashed like a sandwich by a lorry and cooked to death.
Whimpers from the building.
What the hell? Stay here.
Austin stands to follow the sounds. He now hears the cries of a baby. Desperate, piercing.
What the hell is going on in there?
Austin runs around the building, finds a door. It won't give. He slams through it and falls hard on the ground. Austin adjusts his eyes to find light forms sitting on the pews facing a naked male infant on the altar. The brightest light figure over him. Exterior, open field. A pair of eyes shine across the field at Truman. Truman stands, follows the eyes. Interior, church. Austin tries to move closer.
Who are you? What are you doing to that baby?
The light raises the infant by its feet. Austin hears Truman's voice calling out his name. He turns to see Truman pulled away from the field by Joseph. Exterior, open field. Austin's face on the grass. He opens his eyes. He can barely stand.
Truman! Truman! Joseph, you fucking bastard! Where did you take him?
Interior, man-free, home, day. Kezia Lamb, a 6-year-old girl, watches Truman through a window as he sleeps across the street from her house. A group of boys crowd the bench around Truman.
Dad, there's a Racklow. He sleeps on the bus bench. There's pikeys on him.
Man-free Lamb, late 30s, joins Kezia by the window.
You're early, my chickney. You know him?
No, Dad.
I don't see his that or day.
Truman wakes, realizes the attention on him.
Let's go see.
Exterior, street. From across, Manfrey makes a fist. He crosses the street and charges the pack of boys. The boys take notice and disperse.
Animals!
Truman is shivering. Manfrey signals him to wait. Kezia watches from the sidewalk.
Hey. Hello. Don't be scared.
Hello.
May I sit with you?
Uh-huh.
It's all right. Here, let me put this over you.
Manfrey places his jacket over Truman's shoulders.
Thank you, sir.
Are you okay?
Yes, a little cold.
Where's your ma?
Home,
And where's home?
London.
London. How'd you get here?
My dad. I was with them by the rocks, where the sheep live.
By the old church. Do you know where he is now?
No.
What's your name, young lad?
My name's Truman. Truman Biggs.
Oh, that's a fine name.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Manfrey Lamb.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How'd you end up here, young Truman?
I walked.
You must be hungry.
I am a little.
Let's get you something to eat and see about finding your dad and day, yeah?
Manfrey notices Truman looking at Kezia.
There's my daughter, Kezia.
Exterior, interior, Briggs Pub. Austin rummages through a garbage dumpster. Picks up a wooden stud. He pries open a back doorway to the pub. Slips inside. Sees Joseph in his office. Joseph takes a sip from a cup and puts his head down on the desk. Austin stops short of Joseph. Raises the wooden stud. Joseph lifts his head. Austin smiles. Joseph makes to get up.
Hello, cousin.
Joseph throws the contents of the cup toward Austin, catches his face with the hot drink. Austin screams in agony.
Ah, bloody hell, you burned me!
Austin whacks Joseph across his back as Joseph makes a start for the door. Joseph goes down. Austin drops the stud and jumps on him. His hands around Joseph's neck, presses savagely. Joseph can't free himself.
She will never be yours, ever! Where's Truman? What have you done with my son, you useless piece of shit? Stop!
A flash of light blinds Austin. He lets out a scream. He staggers and falls. Austin touches his chest.
You stabbed me!
His hands move about his torso. There is no blood, no wounds on him. Austin grabs Joseph by the shirt and slaps his face hard again and again.
Stop! Please, stop! We're family. Where's Truman?
Where's Truman? I saw you take him, you lying fuck! We're not family! Where are you hiding my son?
He's not here! What have you done with him?
Austin lets go of Joseph, spits on his face.
Next time I see you, I will kill you! Stay away from my wife!
Austin sings on his way out. Joseph faints. 2 bare feet inch toward his face. Joseph jolts awake. He tries to get up from the floor, winces in pain, his voice a rasp.
Who are you? I can't hear you.
Joseph sees Truman in the room, a robed figure over him.
Truman?
Interior man-free home. Truman drinks from a cup. Manfrey sits opposite Truman. Kessia stands behind him.
That's it, drink some of that. I'll get started on something to eat and call the Shanglo. Your family must be worried.
Thank you, sir.
Don't be sad, your mom will be here soon. Want to go outside with me?
Now you stay where I can see you.
Exterior backyard. Truman and Kessia walk in between rows of wildflowers.
Where's your mommy?
Kessia stops and points to the sky.
See up there.
Where?
Look again.
The clouds. The dancing. Is that her?
Dad told me Devil let her watch me from the sky.
Who's Devla?
The creator of everything.
God?
He wanted my mom to be in the sky.
Kessia walks alone, away from Truman. Truman pulls a flower from the ground, catches up to Kessia, and hands it to her. Interior, estate. Julia, an MP officer on the phone. Mary and Alicia hang on every word.
Perfect. We're on our way. He's safe with the Romani family in Coventry.
Did he hurt him?
No. The boy's fine.
Coventry, isn't that where that piece of garbage comes from?
Let me go get clean clothes for Truman.
Mary leaves Alicia with Julia.
Is Austin with him?
No.
That lunatic is coming here next.
We've started a manhunt and are watching the house closely. We'll grab him before he gets anywhere near the boy or your daughter.
Mary returns with a small bag.
Let's go get my son.
Interior, Manfrey home. From the kitchen window, Manfrey watches Sabina, late teens, make her way into the house. Truman and Kessia busy drawing with crayons, half-eaten flapjacks strewn about a couple of plates.
What have we here?
Well, there's the lost Racklow. Now go sit, I'll make you a plate.
I'm famished.
Sabina approaches Truman. He stiffens.
Hello. It's all right.
She points at his paper, a dark figure, yellow lines across its torso.
Who is that?
A light ghost.
Sabina kisses Kessia, takes a bite from her plate.
Interesting. And you?
The sun has children.
Sabina looks at Kessia's drawing. Streaks of colors emanate from a rupture in a giant sun. 2 tiny figures underneath the sun.
Jeez, what is this? Strangest drawing competition?
I'm so excited to see a passage play. Are you ready?
Like a movie star.
Interior, Manfrey home, dusk. Manfrey opens the front door. Truman runs to his mother and hugs her. Kessia holds the drawings. Sabina next to her. Alicia reaches for her purse.
Thank you, dear sir.
Now there's no need for that. He's a good lad.
I am never, ever leaving you out of my sight, my precious.
Kessia approaches Mary.
My, you are a beautiful little girl.
Thank you, Ma'am.
This is Kezia. It is very nice to meet you, Kezia.
Take the pictures we drew.
Thank you.
Mary addresses Sabina.
It is very nice to meet you. If you're ever in London, please look us up.
Right. Now let's get this over with before we get arrested for class mingling.
Watch it, Sabina.
Exterior, estate, night. Austin, perched like a wild creature on a tree, watches Julia on the front lawn. Joseph's car approaches the house.
Look who's back for more.
Austin lowers himself, dashes for the side of the house as Julia shifts her focus on the oncoming vehicle. Interior, exterior, estate. Mary looks out the window.
It's Joseph.
She straightens her dress. She can't see Austin's reflection looking right at her. Interior, kitchen. A pair of hands pick up a carving knife from a drawer. Interior, Truman's room. Truman sleeps. He dreams. Fiery colors explode out from surface of the giant sun. The colors are human-like, as children born from its mother. We hear cries, with each expulsion illuminating a dark void. Kessia appears in his dream. She is older, beautiful. She wears a striking pendant over her neck. Truman holds her hand, and both witness the spectacle. Interior, Alicia's room. Alicia sound asleep. Austin looks over at her, places a carving knife under his nose, smells it. Interior, kitchen. Mary sits at the coffee table. Joseph maneuvers over the stove, readies a kettle.
He could have killed you.
I've never seen him like that.
I will never forgive him for what he's done. How did it come to this? We were inseparable, the three of us.
It was a happy time.
I've hurt you, Joseph.
Not as much as Austin.
Joseph points at his face. They laugh. Truman startles them both as he enters the kitchen.
He's here, Mommy.
Darling?
Mary goes to Truman. Truman holds out the drawings. The lights go out on the estate, near pitch black. Mary does not see Austin wield the knife behind Truman and move inches from the boy. She turns to Joseph.
There are candles in that drawer.
It's all right, Truman. Stay where you are.
Joseph searches through drawers, spots a candle among assorted items, strikes a match, lights it. A distinct voice, not quite his own, but enough for all to recognize.
Together again. The faithful three.
Interior, Alicia's room. Alicia sits up on her bed, dries a table lamp on a nightstand. The power is out.
Oh, dear God, no.
Exterior, estate. Julia notices the lights go out.
Bloody hell!
She screams. She hears screams, scrambles, weapon drawn. Interior, room, stage. A small town activities hall. Local sits across a lifted stage. A hand-painted sign reads, "The Bloodstone of Cain." Painted flats portray a desert plain and tribal huts. Manfrey and Kezia sit in the audience. A woman, played by Sabrina, wails as a hooded figure takes a baby infant from her hands. She pleads with a man who rushes into the scene.
No, my husband! Stop him!
The man falls to his knees, cries and holds her. He addresses the hooded figure.
I will seek thee throughout eternity. The taking of this child will spawn 1,000,000 years of pain and suffering.
Silence. This atonement is of your own.
Interior, estate, kitchen. Austin has Mary in a lock from behind, the knife by her neck.
Austin, for God's sake, man, let her go!
Austin tightens his grip around Mary's neck. Alicia shrieks from behind. He turns. Alicia jumps on Austin. She bites him and digs her nails into his eyes. Austin flails the knife, releases Mary. His body slumps forward from Alicia's weight on him. Joseph grabs a hammer from a drawer and pushes Truman past the kitchen entrance. The knife misses the boy but catches Joseph across the chest as he takes a wild swing with the hammer, tearing a hole in Austin's cheek. Joseph slides and sits by the door frame.
Run, Mary.
Interior, room, stage. A scene change. Sabina alone. The husband staggers in. He is dirty, in tattered, ragged herdsman garments. Dark bloodstains on his abdomen everywhere. From a pouch on his waist, he takes out a stone.
Lena, my love, I bring you a gift. Keep this hidden from those who will seek it.
The audience is still. The spotlight on Sabina and her husband grows smaller. In the darkness, a shadowy figure sits alone in the last row, mouthing the words that the actor is saying.
Every generation must revere it and pass it to the next. However long it takes, my spirit will find thee. It has been done, and now it begins.
The dark figure is fixed on Sabina and Kezia. He stands, heads for the exit. Kezia notices the stranger leaving. He stops before exiting, turns around, directs a piercing gaze towards her. She quickly looks away, leans on Manfrey's arm. The actors take their bow. Interior, estate. Mary carries Truman. stumbles past Joseph into the hallway. Austin wobbles forward, slams Alicia onto the kitchen table. She's knocked unconscious. Exterior, estate. Torrential rain pours onto the ground. Julia points her flashlight through Truman's room window. The armoire doors widely swing open and close.
Bloody hell! Who's in there?
Interior hallway. Austin goes after Truman and Mary. Mary has reached Truman's room, tries the door, locked. Austin upon them, both with the knife raised. Mary's face transforms into Austin's mother burning in the car wreckage. She pushes Truman to the floor, throwing herself at Austin's knife coming down. On the floor, Truman sees blood spray on the drawings. Mary falls by him.
Go, my angel.
Austin stares at Mary's face. Tears well up. He weeps. The madness has left him.
Oh my God. What have I done?
Interior, estate. Julia breaks the window and climbs into the room. She senses a presence with her. Julia points the gun at the darkness. She tries the door. It will not open.
Someone unlock this door!
Hallway. All lights on the estate flash on blindingly bright. The door gives. Julia leaps out. She sees the knife in Austin's hand. She points a weapon at him. Truman next to him.
Drop the knife!
Austin raises the knife and plunges it hard toward his torso in a repeated motion. Julia fires her weapon at Austin. His lifeless body slumps to its knees. Julia feels for pulses on Mary and Austin, picks up Truman, runs to the kitchen. She finds Alicia at the table, regaining consciousness.
Ma'am, I need you to stay there and not move.
What's happened? Where's my daughter?
She lowers Truman and puts pressure on Joseph's wound.
I have a pulse here.
In shrieks.
Mary!
Exterior, outside activities hall. Manfrey, Kessia, and patrons exit the hall.
What troubles my little chickney?
Why did the man take the chove from Sabina, Da?
The chove, my chickney, belong to Devla. We must always trust in Devla's wisdom. He'll find a way to reunite the chove with Dama. You understand?
Yes, Da, we must obey Devla's word.
Now let's hurry. We need to get ready for Sabina's ceremony.
Interior, Manfrey home. Dozens of lit candles. Sabina sits on a couch, flagged by two older women. Kessia watches from the edge of the room. She cannot contain her excitement. Kitchen. The living room visible from his vantage point. Manfrey turns his attention to a television newscast of a gruesome murder in London. A picture of Mary on the screen. Manfrey covers his mouth in horror. He looks back at the moment unfolding in his house. One of the old women produces a wooden box. She opens it, reveals a pure white stone with crimson streaks mounted on a mesh of gold and silver. It hangs from a gold chain. The second woman takes it and places it around Sabina's neck.
The bloodstone of Cain is found in New Maiden.
Kezia runs to the kitchen. Manfrey turns off the television set.
Dad, look at Sabina.
I see her, my little chickney. That'll be you one day.
Interior, hospital, day. Joseph pushed on a wheelchair by an orderly toward the main entrance, a full beard on him. A young man looks old now.
Is this necessary? I can't walk.
Regulations, sir. You're on your own at the exit.
The orderly goes through the hospital doors. A driver waits by the curb. Joseph stands.
Where to, sir?
Far from here.
Exterior, estate, garden, night. In addition to the estate, a tombstone. Mary's name engraved on it. Truman kneels on the ground next to it. Interior, exterior, Alicia's room. Alicia hears naked feet shuffle outside her door.
Truman?
Alicia opens the door. The sounds lead her to Truman's room.
Truman?
Truman is not there. She turns to leave. A magpie lands on the windowsill. She looks past the bird and sees Truman sitting by his mother's grave.
My dear boy.
She knocks on the window to get his attention. The magpie flies away and lands next to Truman. He looks up to see his grandmother by the window. Alicia hears a guttural sound, turns around. The room goes black.
Nana?
Truman runs towards the house. Truman's vision. Truman's surroundings are a blur. Physical reality slows, wavering in and out of lights, movement, and sounds interlaced within a barren landscape. Truman arrives outside his room. The door opens. Alicia praying on her knees, facing a hooded figure.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Figure turns toward Truman. The garment worn by the figure dissipates to reveal a translucent man-like creature. Light shines from within the angelic being. Alicia shields her eyes. Magpies land outside the window. The creature, Yuri, turns to Truman and speaks.
A righteous man whose eyes were opened by God, permitted to see a vision of the Holy One in heaven. It was not for this generation to know, but for a deserving one yet to come. Time is upon us. One who can see the realm of the angels walks among you.
Truman looks at a photo of his mother in Austin sitting on his dresser. Fade to white. Exterior, fields of gold day. Mary and Austin on a picnic blanket. Teenage laughter. Mary's happiness brings joy to Austin's heart. Exterior, garden, night. A hooded figure stands by Mary's gravestone. He uncovers his face. It is Ashmed, the husband from the nomadic village. The shadowy figure mouthing the actor's words during the play. A translucent crimson light emanates from an opening in Ashmed's coat. It engulfs him. He vanishes in the light. In his place, a crow sits on the gravestone. The bird plucks at his feathers. In its eyes, we see legions of light creatures facing off on a field. Leading one side, we recognize an older Truman in a battle cry. Jackals by his side. Fade to black.